Hey everyone, happy Monday. Just chilling, just want to talk about The Wizard of Oz actually. I have some of my stuff out here that I put on display, but I didn't take into account that I'd be sitting right in front of it and you wouldn't be able to see it. But anyway, it was just my birthday other day, and I always watch The Wizard of Oz on my birthday. I don't know if it's a tradition, but it's just something I do. One thing I love about that movie, best scene, is the dead Munchkin. You know the scene? Everybody knows the scene. It's got a dead Munchkin. You had to have seen it, except you didn't, because there's no dead Munchkin in that scene. And I know there's a lot of people out there that say, oh no, there's a dead Munchkin, and then other people are like, no, it's just a bird. What I can tell you for sure, it's not either of those two things. And here's why. Okay, first of all, I'll explain why it's not a dead Munchkin. A lot of reasons. The first being is that the Munchkin scene was one of the last scenes shot in the movie, so none of the little people and the actors that played the Munchkins were even there. At that time, they'd have no reason to be there. They're not going to get paid for being there, for doing nothing, and they didn't get paid a whole lot to begin with, so they're not going to be there. There's no reason. Secondly, you got 5 of the main actors on set at that time, when that scene was being shot. Obviously, Judy Garland, Ray Bolger, Jack Haley, Burt Lahr, and Margaret Hamilton were all doing their scene. And when they were skipping off and dancing after Margaret Hamilton's scene was over, they're facing where that supposed dead person hanging from a tree would be. Not only that, you got crew everywhere. You got director, you got your cameraman, you got lighting people, you got probably even people catering. You got all kinds of people. I don't work in the industry, but I do know that there would be a lot of people making sure that everything flows, everything's going right, everything's getting done. What's supposed to happen is happening. Out of all those people, somebody's going to notice a dead body hanging from a tree, which really wasn't as far away as it looks, because in the movie it's made to look like a big forest, but it's not. It's a studio, and you're inside a building. It's not that big. I mean, it's big, probably gymnasium size, but it's not a massive forest where they're not going to notice something like that. Not only that, they're not real trees. They're props. They're not meant to hold the weight of a human being. And the trees in the background aren't as big as the trees in the foreground. It's forced perspective to make the trees look bigger than they are by making them smaller, to make them look farther away than they are, but by making them smaller. And there's no way a tree that's probably made out of plastic or whatever they would have used, maybe even paper mache, I have no idea, but it's not likely it would hold the weight of another person. Granted, it's a smaller than average human, but it's still a person. It's still got weight. It's just impossible that there would actually be a dead person sitting there. Plus, you're also going to have people that check the set, make sure everything's looking how it should look before they start filming. People that would make sure everything's where it is, there's nothing there that shouldn't be there, and that would be one of those things that shouldn't be there. Now, there is an object there, which I'm going to get to in a second. And that brings me to the bird thing. If you get a digital copy, like DVD, Blu-ray, or something online, what you'll see is a crane in the background moving around and bopping its head. That I can tell you was added in after. You probably won't really find that information online. The reason I know this is because I actually have a copy of the movie that's on VHS. And there's no bird in that scene. There is an object there. It's not moving like the bird is moving. And it's not even in the same spot that the bird's in. The bird's actually over a little bit. What I can tell you, I don't know what it is, but what you do see, which I can see could be interpreted by people that want to run the rumor mill a little bit, or start these sort of stories and these urban legends. There is something hanging, and then there's like a larger object underneath, and then another rope that goes from the bottom to the side. Now you can go online and YouTube, and there'll be other videos of people saying, "Oh, it's a dead Munchkin," and all this other stuff. And those pictures you see that they're using are actually altered. But if you look, you can find the original footage, the original scene, which, like I said, there is an object there, but it's definitely not a person, not even shaped like a person. People say, oh, well, you know, the images on VHS, the quality was bad, and now that it's all re-enhanced and digitally enhanced and cleaned up, you can see clearly it's a bird. Like, I can see clearly that you added a bird, but I also know very clearly that originally it wasn't a bird. But one thing it wasn't was a dead person. So I'm just, you can believe what you want. You can say, well, I believe it's a Munchkin. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm just telling you what I believe, and why the thought of it actually being a person makes no sense, and it's just ridiculous to think that. But again, I don't know what it is. It's some kind of piece of equipment, maybe some kind of rigging, maybe a weight that got shifted, something moved in the back, got shifted, and it ended up being unintentionally in the shot. Like all movies have bloopers, it happens. But it's definitely not a bird, and it's definitely not a dead person. Anyway, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. If it was a dead person in the background, and I had proof of that, I wouldn't dismiss it and say, oh, that's not true because I love the movie. No, if it was true, it's true. I mean, people do die making movies. People do die on set. It happens. It sucks when it does, but it does. But this is just not one of those times. Anyway, that's all I want to say about that. Everybody continue to be safe, and I guess just until the next one, take care. And oh, my cat's calling me. I don't know, can you hear? Hi. You want to say hi? Come here. I don't think she wants to say hi. Okay, anyway, until the next one.